Well, and howdy, folks. Welcome once again to Dave Diggs History. I'm the host for the channel, Dave Diggs. And welcome to all of you who decided to drop in, all you time travelers, history grunts. Shannon, good to see you here. And other Shannon, good to see you here as well. Hollis, it's good to see you, but why are you sitting in the... Never mind, don't want to know. Not sure. If you're wondering why I'm holding this big old hammer and this chisel, well, it has to do with some unfinished business from the last episode. You may recall in the last episode, we discussed the subject of, well, we have American coins, but they're in such short number, they're not really doing their job, so we have to resort to other people's coinage. Spanish coins, Mexican coins, Chilean coins, Bolivian coins, French coins. The list just goes on. At some point, we're going to get a production level of our own coinage. We don't have to worry about this anymore. And that was my suggestion for this episode. This is where we explained what happened to cause that change from using other people's to not using other people's. But that really doesn't have much to do with this or this. It has to do with unfinished business, a little topic of interest. Let's say, for instance, in the days before the change to lots of gold and lots of silver, you have a coin. The coin just happens to be either a Mexican peso. Mexico has been independent since the 1820s. Or Spanish ocho reales, 8 kings, each of which by law, by American law, is worth $1 US. It is silver. Both of them are silver. Let's say you want some small change. How do you get small change if you don't already have it in your pocket? Do you have a hammer? Do you have a chisel? Or do you know the blacksmith? It's easy, real easy. A little bit of effort. Call it sweat equity. Take the coin, a hammer, and a chisel. Let's say you need a 50-cent piece. Just bash it until you get 2 halves, each of which is worth 50 cents. And it's legal. In the United States, the law says this is recognized as legal tender. Well, if you want a 25-cent piece, for instance, and don't have one, but you do have, essentially it's a $0.50, you just then take the hammer and chisel and you beat it again, and you come up with 2 halves of a $0.50. Each one is a $0.25. 25 cents US. If you need something any smaller, it gets a bit tricky. You can take the 25-cent piece, literally piece, and start banging at it, and you may wind up with 2 bits. They're all called bits: 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1. And they're very tiny. They're about the size of my fingernail on my pinky. Now, if you do this wrong and you beat on it and it comes out a bit bigger than what you liked, that's called a long bit. It's worth a dime. 15 cents. It's the small bit. If you hit it and didn't get it right, a small bit, that's worth about a dime. The other one is worth 15 cents. So, with that unfinished business out of the way, and let me get this out of the way. Don't want to lose any of this. I may have to live on it for the winter. All $2 total. Get rid of this before I hurt myself. In the last episode, I sort of suggested, and I'm sure many of you caught on, to the California Gold Rush being the historical event that's going to happen and take care of at least the gold coin shortage in the United States. The gold rush actually started last year, 1849. Gold was discovered 1848, January 24th, 1848, at Sutter's Mill in Coloma, California. It's located on the western side of the Sierra Nevadas in the foothills. The person responsible for the discovery, oh, you like my graphics? Graphics department put this together for me. It's 1850. We don't have Photoshop or anything like that. This is about as good as it's going to get. But this is James Marshall. He's the one contracted by John Sutter, who built Sutter's Fort in 1839 in the Sacramento Valley. He's contracted to build a lumber mill, and he was inspecting it on the 24th day of January 1848. He was inspecting the mill race. And I have, courtesy of our wonderful, fantastic graphics department, this is a photograph dated 1850 of Sutter's Mill. Marshall was inspecting the mill race where the... Hang on, let's let Marshall tell about this. He's the one who discovered the gold. I wasn't there. This is James Marshall talking. I picked up one or two pieces and examined them attentively, and taking some general knowledge of minerals, I could not call to mind more than two which in any way resembled this: iron, very bright and brittle, and gold, bright yet malleable. I then tried it between two rocks and found that it could be beaten into a different shape, but not broken. He was pretty much positive he had discovered gold, but it's nice to be 100% sure. So he went to Sutter's Fort and talked to Johann August Sutter. Thank you, graphics department. Or John Sutter, as he's called. He decided, well, I'll read you what he said. Then Mr. M, that would be Mr. Marshall, James Marshall, began to show me this metal, which consisted of small pieces and specimens, some of them worth a few dollars. Having proved the metal with aqua fortis, that's nitric acid, which I found in my apothecary shop, likewise with other experiments, and read the long article Gold in the Encyclopedia Americana, I declared this to be gold of the finest quality of at least 23 carats. That's pretty good gold. It would have been nice for all parties concerned, Marshall and Sutter, if this could have all been kept a you know that's not going to happen. Secret? No, not going to happen. Word got out. It didn't take long at all. Marshall himself had discussed his discovery with some of his fellow employees at the mill. Word spread rapidly, and the gold rush was on. The gold rush, and it's called the gold rush of 1849, but really it gets its kickoff in 1848, December, when President Polk was giving what we would call now the State of the Union address. And he stated in the address, gold has been found in California, in the Sierras. It has been confirmed by several people of impeccable character, including some Army officers. That was it. People from all over the world, including Chile, Hawaiian Islands, called Sandwich Islands at the time, China, eastern, western, southern, northern U.S., Canada. They all flocked to the Sacramento Valley to get their riches. Some did. A great many didn't. The ones who really profited off the mining were the merchants who mined the miners. They're the ones who actually took in a substantial part of the treasure. Now, what does this do for coinage? What does this do for the coinage lack of in this country? Is it finally in circulation? Consider these numbers. We're talking gold here. Gold eagles, that's a $10 gold piece. Half eagle, it would be a $5 gold piece. Quarter eagle, $2.50. The gold eagle production in 1848, just 2 years ago, was 180,964. That's it for the whole nation. Gold eagle production 1 year later, 1849, 677,518. A dramatic increase. We're well on our way to solving at least the gold coin shortage in America. Also, there was enough gold coming out that we could start producing something not authorized by the Mint Act of 1792, which authorized what coins are going to be minted. We're now going to start with congressional legislation approving it, of course. Double eagle production, a $20 gold piece. And in 1849, the very first year of production, there was a grand total of one. Just one, and that one is now in the Smithsonian. But the very next year, 1850, we go from 1 to 1,311,261. That's pretty good. And that increase in production for many, many years afterwards stays very high. Multiple years we're coining a million and a half gold coins each year. So with the California gold rush bringing lots of material into the United States and the mint, essentially the gold coin shortage is now over. What about silver? Well, in 1859, the Comstock lode in Nevada Territory, Nevada does not become a state till 1864, the Comstock lode, named after a person named Comstock, is discovered in the Davidson Mountain and its surrounding area, which is not very far at all from Virginia City, Nevada Territory. Production of silver rises dramatically. Many thousands and tens of thousands of ounces are produced every year. Consider silver dollar production in 1849, 62,600. Silver dollar production 1859, 635,701 coins, silver, are minted in that year. That pretty much takes care of the silver coin shortage in the United States. So much so that in another 7 years, 1857, Congress will pass a law, an act, declaring everybody else's silver, which has been legal tender in this country, which has kept this country going economically in the absence of adequate American coinage, all that is now illegal. If you have any Mexican pesos, Spanish ocho reales, Portuguese escudos, no, they're gold, but you can take them anyway. Take them to the mint or some other approved representative of the mint. You'll be turning it over to the United States government, who will then recompensate you for your generous donation with American coinage, coin of the realm, so to speak. The coins that are turned in are sent to the mint where they're melted down and used to make new coins. That will essentially end the silver coin shortage in America. And that essentially ends this episode. We're now done with coinage. It's been nice, but there's a lot more material. So much that I could do another 3 episodes, 4, but no, this is enough. If you are curious, if your appetite for more has been whetted, there are sources, plenty of sources. A Google search will bring up everything you need to know. So what happens next time? What happens in the next episode? Notice the big smile. Oh, we've taken care of coins. You betcha we have. But there's lots of red dogs and wildcats and mushrooms out there that are just ruining the country. What do I mean by that? Oh, I see we're out of time. Yes, indeed. We're out of time. And next time, we will discuss those red dogs, those wildcats on those mushrooms. In the meantime, I thank you for coming. Glad to have seen everybody here again. And until the next time our paths cross, I have the honor to remain your most respectful and obedient servant, Dave Diggs, coming to you from, as always, a long time ago. Everybody take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.